Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. I hope everybody is well. For those of you who follow my content, some of you may have had the luxury of hearing the Queen in the wee hour this morning. I was a bit perturbed by a photo that I saw in the YouTube queue. And if you'd like to go to that said video, it was uploaded this morning in the AM. I bring this content because I think it's crucial to the information that we've heard over the past 6 months pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. And I asked this question, where is the church? Because I think it's relevant, considering everyone likes to quote from the Bible in their commentary pertaining to Summer Wells, the bio donor male, Robin Lane. I thought it was befitting to speak of the church because these people attended this church at some point. So I'm going to ask the obvious question. Since Miss Lane decides she wants to take photographs publicly with these people, where is the church? Where is the church? I'm going to play you some content. It is old content that was uploaded to the viewing eye 5 months ago. If you need verification for anything that I speak of in this live, go to the YouTube queue to find said information. This is by WJHL. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.
Wells stretches into month 2. Community support for the little girl continues, not only for the 5-year-old, but for her family. News Channel 11's Bianca Murray spoke with congregation members at the church the Wells attend and learned more about how they're helping the family get through a very challenging time.
The pastor at the Kingsport Seventh-day Adventist Church told me yesterday that the Wells family, as well as several church members, have received what he called hateful messages on social media. He says the church is banding together to support the family while Summer remains missing.
We know each other fairly well, and for someone like Summer Wells to be, in the father's opinion, to be abducted like that, it's just heartbreaking. We're hoping that there's miraculous intervention.
A church of less than 200 people, Pastor David Ryder refers to his congregation as a family. So for one of his flock to disappear, he says his family is drawing near.
A lot of the help that they need is that type of emotional support, having the prayer vigils. And you can imagine the kind of ups and downs that they're going through. And they have some of these, just to be able to pick the phone up and text and have a response, or pick the phone up and call and have a response.
He says the family is struggling to cope.
They're already going through a horrible time. Can you imagine? That's the most horrible thing that can happen to a person is to have their child abducted. And they're going through this, and this is the depression and the shock and not knowing, is she safe? Is she being harmed? What's happening to her? It's very difficult for the parents.
Summer's Sabbath school teacher, Robin Lane, tells me she's in constant contact with Candace Bly, Summer's mom.
She looked like she was really hurting, and I just offered her a word of encouragement. And I have told her this from the beginning, that with each day that passes, I get more and more hopeful. I'm not just saying that because I want to be a positive, uplifting person. People think I'm a real positive person. I'm a realistic person as well. I believe in miracles, and I do believe that God is going to reveal where she is. I believe she will be delivered.
The church members I spoke with asked the public to pray for the Wells family and pray for the safe return of 5-year-old Summer Wells.
Bianca Murray, thank you. If you have any information that could help investigators, they're looking for what they call credible tips. Called into 1-800-TBI-FIND or emailed to tips@tbi.tn.gov.
Okay, thank you so very much for that. Okay. Sorry about that.
ZipRecruiter to work for you.
Me trying to learn this device is killing me. It's hard to press the buttons up and down. Sorry about that. Let me discuss that video briefly. In that video, you have a Mr. David Ryder speaking, who is the Seventh-day Adventist church pastor where the Wells were attending. I do not know if they are still attending or not. You know, I don't speak on something I don't know of. So in this, he sounds positive, hopeful, a caring pastor. In the video, you will see a vigil of people standing around like a picnic area in a park, holding hands, praying. Of course, naturally, this was early on. I believe this audio says it was month 2 that they had this prayer vigil and this content uploaded to the public. You also see Candy in the said prayer vigil. They also show them sitting in church. Candy, Don, and maybe one of the children sitting on the pew in church. And naturally, this is after Summer has gone missing. You also hear Robin Lane in this said commentary. And you also will see a clip of Robin singing in the front of the church, holding Summer Wells. A Summer Wells with a shaved head. I'm assuming that was a recent photo of the child before she went missing. What's baffling about that video is watching the child touching this woman's hair. I'm going to go on and say that because it's in the video. You can feel free to go look at it yourself for verification. You could tell she was enamored with this woman, Summer Wells, playing with her hair while she's singing, moving her head about, looking at her in her face, tilting her head from side to side. It's very strange. Strange behavior for a child, some could say. To me, it shows what the child was lacking in her own life for her to be so enamored with another woman. You see, all these people are Caucasian. So she's being held by a Caucasian woman with long hair. And she seemed fascinated with this woman's hair, her face. It's really bizarre behavior when you just sit and study the actions of this small child. And you'll ask yourself, what is going on with this baby and this lady? But it showed me what the child was missing. This is all in this video that they aired publicly and that we also got to see from other YouTube channel that went digging in the dresser drawers of the church and bringing forth all these videos. The videos put you into the life of Summer Wells briefly while attending church. The running around, not sitting still, watching the mother sleep on a pew in public in church. Views of the father and the children and the other congregants in the church. Very sad, because as I said, and most of you should know, the church is sacred for those who actually believe in the church, believe in God and the Bible. It is a sacred place. It is a place to be held in the highest regard. If you believe in God, you go there to get your soul nourished, get your spirit right, get your mind right. It's not a place for foolishness and buffoonery. So it was sad watching it now, how she held on to this lady. Where is the church? I'm curious. Because that was uploaded 5 months ago, this video. And he's speaking in this video to tell you what the family was going through at that time. And he was right. It would be hard for a family to wake up every day wondering where their child is. But you see, I'm speaking from what I've seen thus far, Pastor. That's all fine and good. If I'm watching a family that acts like they care about their child, come on, Queen, they ain't ready for church. Because I'm on today. And I'm one day before Sunday church. You see, those words are for somebody that cares about a child, their own child, what they're going through. And naturally, we had no idea the foolishness that was going to unfold. after watching that said video with the pastor speaking. So at that time, before some of us started making judgments of the family, yes, they must be suffering so. The child is gone. The child is gone. How terrible they must feel. But it doesn't apply if indeed the family is the culprit and got the child gone deliberately. Shut up, Queen. Where is the church? 1 second. Got some more information I want to bring to you all. Thank you for joining me. I lost my place. That is to be expected when I'm using something new for my search. Oh, Lord. Now I can't find what I was looking for. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Thank you for joining me. Hello to everybody in the chat. Wasn't trying to ignore anybody. Got to get my place back. Hello, everybody. It's not pulling up for some reason. Hold on. I don't know what's going on here. 1 second. Got to start fresh. I lost my place. For some reason, it won't come up. One moment, please. That first source I brought you was uploaded 5 months ago by WJHL. I'm going to read you an article that's by WVLT News, Channel 8. Pastor Summer Wells speaks on girl's disappearance. Summer Wells pastor spoke to WVLT News for the first time about the 5-year-old's disappearance and the ongoing Amber Alert. This was uploaded July 12, 2021. The pastor of Kingsport Seventh-day Adventist Church, where Summer Wells and her family attend, spoke to WVLT News about the girl's disappearance. David Ryder told WVLT News reporter Ashley Bull that he is struggling because there has been no hope for the family. Despite hundreds of tips in the Amber Alert case, none have led to 5-year-old Summer, Ryder said, that has caused a sense of hopelessness for the family. Now remember, the child went missing on the 15th of June, allegedly. This content was brought forth the 12th. So that wasn't quite 4 weeks. At this point, the boy children were still in the parents' custody. The Wells family attended the church for a year before the COVID-19 pandemic, Ryder said, though they have not officially joined. That has not stopped churchgoers from keeping the missing child in their thoughts, he said. Our members continue to uplift in prayer both her family and the authorities seeking to bring her home safely, Ryder said. He said he remembered preaching during service with Summer walking around behind him. Ryder described Summer Wells as a free spirit and said she and the women of the church have a strong relationship. Our hearts have been broken by the disappearance of a precious young child, Summer Wells, and we pray for her safe return, he said in a statement to WVLT News. This was uploaded the 12th of July. The child went missing June 15th. Most of you can count. Wasn't quite 1 month that the pastor spoke to the public pertaining to the disappearance of the child. I played you audio just now from WJHL where the pastor is speaking of the family being distraught, And as I said, at this point, the boy children were still in the custody of the family. And I may have misspoke when I saw that video. I thought one of the children were sitting on the pew. I might have to go back. So if I misspoke, excuse me, in the video where they were sitting in church. And this is naturally after Summer has gone missing. So that might be before the children were taken from the Wells custody. It's very sad. Very sad indeed. Let me play this audio and let me see what this video here says. Hold on 1 second. If it's the same. Might be a little different. I don't know if it's the same. We'll see.
Still no sign of the 5-year-old out of Hawkins County. Now it's been 17 days. The search is now reduced to specific areas near her home. The TBI has looked into more than 750 tips. None of them, however, have led to Summer Wells. New details.
Okay, so that's that. Okay. Interesting when you go back in and listen to this information. When you backtrack a story pertaining to a missing person, and you chop up all the things you've heard, all the innuendos, you realize you missed some things, you assume some things, and you start to wonder, what have you been listening to? Who are these people you're listening to? Do you believe these people you've been listening to? Do these people have ulterior motives for speaking and bringing forth commentary pertaining to the child, the parents, whomever? You have to wonder that, because we have all been misled by people in general. Because you see, in the world that I live in, the world that you live in, you are only worth your word. Have you ever heard of that? That you are only worth your word. That your word is bond. That if I cannot believe what you are saying to me, then you are basically have no value. I mean, you're valuable to your friends, your family, God, if you believe in God, but you understand what I'm saying. You're only worth your word. So if you are not truthful, then who are you? What are you about? So we have people who will speak on behalf of others because possibly they believe in them. That is what we do as humans. Sometimes we speak up for people. We speak on their behalf because we believe in them. But you backtrack and you listen at this pastor speaking, you have to ask yourself, what does he think now? What do the congregants think now of Don and Candy Wells? What do they think of the situation pertaining to Summer Wells? Do they believe the child is alive? Do they believe she's dead? Do they believe foul play? What did they think then? What do they think now? Amen. You are only worth your word. Because you're human and you speak and you talk. That's why they tell you. You got to walk that talk. You can't just be talking. Walk it. Everybody knows that. Because you know words are cheap. Tell you anything. What did I tell you about children? They can't hold a lie long. Come on with it, Queen. They don't have a filter. They talk, they speak. They're children. And that's why the children are very evident in this storyline, that really the children hold the key to June 15th. Amen. The pastor tells you that these people attended the church, but they were not members. Why not? You go to a church a year. How long does it take for you to decide that you want to become a member of the church, or did you all just want to just go to church? You didn't really want to be a member. I'm speaking to you, Don and Candy. What was it about this church that made you not decide to become a member? I'm curious. Why not? Your child seems to like Robin Lane a whole lot. We noticed that in all the videos uploaded pertaining to you all attending church. Your child was enamored with her. Why was this child enamored with Robin Lane? I think it's obvious. The child was lacking some type of attention from her home, from her bio donors. So when she went to this church, basically she fell in love with this woman. She was enamored with Robin Lane. And I can't get mad at a child for that. She's a child. If she was 12 years old, I couldn't be upset at that. That's a child's emotion. You can't knock what somebody feel, how they feel. It's a child. So that leads me to think the child was malnourished at home. Do you understand? Rochelle, it doesn't cost money to be a member of a church. The church would prefer that you tithe. But if you can't tithe, then you can't tithe. And there are other ways of tithing. You can do work around the church. You can help with the church if you can't put tithes in the church. Because a lot of people can't afford to tithe. 10%, the expected amount to tithe. Let me clear that up before I finish my commentary. The child was malnourished. That's why she latched on to Robin and possibly the other ladies in the church. The pastor speaks to that they all had a special bond with one another, Summer Wells and the women in the church. But I tell you, when I sit there just now looking at that video and looking at her with that shaved head, I'm saying to myself, Queen, what are you missing? Because it may be more than the allegations of bugs and this and that to why a mother would shave a child's head. Could there be another reason? And I'm not trying to get off subject, but that stuck out to me while Robin was holding her. Might be more to the reason of the shaved head, but I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to get off track. Donna and Candy Wells, are you still attending the church? When was the last time you attended church? Yes, no more vigils, no more pastor speaking. This content is from July 12th, uploaded. So that means they talked to the news roughly a day or two beforehand, before they put it to press. Do you understand what I'm saying? Where is the church now? Does the church favor the Wells? Are they still in contact with the Wells? Does the pastor call and talk to Donald and Candy Wells? Does he call and check on them? Does he ask them, do they need anything? Does your soul need healing? Because we've learned as black folks that go to church. Come on, Queen, ain't ready. If you call on him, he'll come, is what the Lord said. Just say my name. What I always tell y'all about. Rochelle, don't come in my chat unless you got a receipt. Don't do this today. Don't do this today. Bring a receipt. This is why I never judge the church, because I don't judge churches. The church is made up of people. People make the church. People make the school. Kind of like people make YouTube. That's why it's called YouTube. Don't bring me nothing, a gossip. Bring me a receipt. Nobody can make nobody pay no money to go to church. Because if that's the case, you probably won't have no church members. You can't make somebody pay. Can't make somebody pay to go to church. It's a choice. Even if it was asked, you got to pay this to come to church, to step in my threshold, then you have the common sense to say, well, I deny paying you this and I won't be back. And I'm not about to get into that. Stop disrupting my commentary. I'm trying to deliver a message to those that are really interested in what I have to say. Where is the church? Are they still talking to the Wells, the pastor, Mr. Ryder? Does he reach out to them, call them, talk to them? Thank you, darling. Thank you for the super chat. Is he in contact? I'd like to know. I'm curious. Because as I said this morning when I went live at 4 a.m., because of that foolish picture that's been posted to Candy Wells' Facebook page with Robin and the gang, I thought about the church. Well, where is the church? No vigils, no commentary, no speaking to the public, no speaking to the news about how they feel about what's going on. Don't you think it's interesting? The church didn't speak when Don got the DUI. Come on, Queen, they ain't ready. Okay, I see where this is going. Oh, man, I've never seen such foolishness in all my life. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I got to take care of something. One minute. I see right now. It's just nonstop. Thank you, Broma. Now I got to get my sweetie pie back out here because I didn't got her in here by mistake. Because my computer don't show what my phone shows. One minute, you guys. I'm checking something. Sorry about that, bullets. We got a slip of the finger, because I can't maneuver on this computer like I do on my phone. Now, where was I? I can't even give my commentary. trying to watch the chat. A pastor, why didn't you speak up after Don got the DUI? I'm curious. I'm very curious. Because that probably wasn't the time to speak, was it? Because that would be rather awkward. The pastor coming forward, giving his commentary because of one of the church members decided to get inside of their car drunk to go buy cigarettes. That would be awfully awkward. Awfully awkward. I don't know, Bromer. Don and Candy, when was the last time you attended church? When was the last time you attended church? Because, Mr. Wells, you know, every time you spoke to the news, you had a habit of always saying, them good Christian folk, them good people, them. Who are them? Or who are those? And where are those people now? Come on, Queen. Where are those good Christian folks, good people? Where are they now? Where are those good Christian, good folks? I'm going to keep saying it. Where are those good Christian, them good folks, them? Who are them? Who are those? Where are they now? Since we love to quote from the Bible and spew Bible rhetoric excessively, where are they now? Who got your back now? Because you see, you are fraudulent, Mr. and Mrs. Wells. Because let me tell you something. You sat up in that church for whatever reason, but you were fraudulent in your walk because you didn't take nothing out of that. Because had you took something, you'd still have Summer Wells here. You still have your baby. You ain't walked by faith. That's why your child ain't here. You gonna walk the walk, then walk it, buddy. You gonna talk it, then talk it. We are all flawed. Let me make that clear. Cuss, fuss, honorary, envious, rob, steal, and still say we're Christians because we're flawed. But the fact of a child going missing and possibly foul play, that's a whole nother ball game in my book. And yes, God says sin is sin, but honey, ain't nothing comparing to you killing no kid. I don't care. That's my opinion. God don't care if you lied, if you stole, if you murdered, you fornicated. To him, it's all the same. Understandably, he's a shot caller. I'm not. I'm just a human, a flawed human, a judgmental human. That I am. So you see, I have to ask myself, what were you and Candy doing in that church? Because you ain't take nothing out of there, obviously. You came out of there deceptive, possibly got your child gone, or covering for your wife is some old hanky-panky. You're standing in front of the camera just going on and on about God and the good people, the good Christian folks. Well, where are they now? Are they calling the house, hanging with you? You see, this is where you messed up, Don. This shows how stupid you are. You really are a stupid human being. See, those are the people you should have been talking with and hanging with, taking photographs with, inviting to your house. Come on, Queen, bring it to them. That's who you should have been talking to. You want to go hang somewhere? Why you ain't hanging at Robin's house? Ting. Why didn't you go hang at Robin's house, pastor's house, some other good men from the church? Why you ain't with them going fishing, hunting? See, If you're going to walk the walk, then walk it. Them the folks you should have been hanging with instead of these YouTubers. Come on with it, Queen. I'm going to take them to church because you like church. I'm going to bring it to you. You should have been talking to the folks in the church instead of YouTube. Sitting up here going all up in them folks' inboxes. They all in your inbox. Y'all all up on these people panels. No, you should have been talking to the folks in the church because them are the ones that you wanted to be with, want to be like. Then that's who the hell you should have been talking to. That's who the hell you should have been hanging with. That's who house you should have been going to. Instead of riding down the road drunk to get cigarettes, you should have been hanging at some church member's house. Sipping apple cider and eating apple pie, peach cobbler. Come on, Queen. They don't know nothing about you. They ain't ready for you. And yes, the search was mentioned in this audio early on. Thanks for saying that in the chat. Don't you find it strange? Still searching right around that house. And this content is from July 12th. See, sometimes you got to go back in the book and rehash some things. And a lot of YouTubers have been doing that because we don't have anything else really to talk about because there's no new news, no new evidence, no suspects, no arrests. So we're going back, rehashing old material because we don't got nothing new to talk about pertaining to Summer Wells. But you got to really keep it real. You've been going to this church for a year. You never joined. And instead of you walking by faith and trying to live right, you all up in YouTube Nation. Cussing and drunk. Talking to people that ain't got a pot to piss in. Folks that sit at home all day doing nothing, worthless, ain't bringing nothing to the world of value. Sitting at home all day, live streaming with an empty heart. And that's your new friend, associates. Sitting up here hanging with bums every day, but yet you go to church every week and sit in church. Help us understand. Help us understand. Because you weren't living right. You wasn't even trying to live right. You wasn't even making an attempt. That's why I know you was up in that church for fraudulent reasons. Because of how you've behaved after the disappearance of Summer Wells. The kind of people you took up with on YouTube told the story. Come on with it, Queen. They ain't ready. You see, like they say, like minds attract. And sometimes good people do attract fraudulent people. So I can't always say that's the truth of like minds. But you hooked up with YouTubers that were really, they're the same as you. Y'all cut from the same cloth. That's why y'all gravitated towards one another. That's obvious. Because let's do the math in the YouTube Nation. I'm going to go there. Just about everybody you hooked up with, Donna and Candy, has had allegations of fraud and criminality. And I by no means am perfect. But one thing I'm not going to do is be out here hanging with folks that ain't got nothing going for themselves. I give everybody a chance. But you get to talking crazy, acting crazy, and you want to start talking about frivolous things, illegal things, it's best I remove myself from the equation. Because you ain't about to get me hung up on nothing. You see, the reason those folks gravitated towards the Wells is because they're like the Wells. That's obvious. That's obvious. And now y'all done turned on one another. And I'm going to go ahead and say this in this live. I was looking at content from Mr. AB's channel pertaining to some foolishness that jumped off yesterday that I have no knowledge of. Amen. And something that a commenter said in the comment section, and she was so right when she said it. She said, if I was to start a YouTube channel, I wouldn't hook up with one YouTuber. Not now, not never. Amen. You said it because it's the truth. Because she said it's only a matter of time. It's going to be a falling out. Amen. So you see, the gist of the story is people are people. YouTube or not. Church, work, family, friends, associates, groups, sports, it's all the same. People make up every entity, every organization, every building and structure is made up of people. So you cannot group everybody the same. This is why I never talked about the church, because the church is a building with people in it. I don't know the people, and I'm not going to sit here and say who they are and what they are about. I don't know them, and I will never speak against people I don't know nothing about. Whether I agree with their religion or not, it's not my place. Because if that's the case, somebody don't like me because I'm a Baptist, but I was raised Catholic. You got something to say about the Catholics, do you not? You got something to say about the Methodists, do you not? You got something to say about the Holiness Church, the Church of God in Christ. Come on with it, Queen, ain't ready. Episcopalians, you got something to say about them. You got something to say about everybody. They this, they that. You can't do that because everybody ain't the same. Everybody don't act the same. Everybody don't believe the same. Every Catholic ain't a Republican. Every Catholic ain't a Democrat. Stay woke. So I don't group them the same. I don't say all Catholics are dirty. I don't say they all dirty because they dirty priests. See where I'm going with that? Because it's ignorant behavior to group everybody the same. All blacks don't steal and rob. All blacks don't get high on cocaine, sell cocaine. All Mexicans aren't selling and trafficking drugs, getting high, stealing. Do you see where I'm going? And all white people aren't bad. It's all the same. All Jews aren't bad. Stay woke. Oh, Lordy. I'm blocking the wrong folks. I can't do this. I can't do this. Everybody's not the same. So most of you who follow my content, you know how I rock. I'm very passionate about what I talk about. And when I get a feeling that something is off in a story or a person, I bring my commentary. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree. You don't have to like it. But it's my opinion. I've never had any judgment against the church as far as who they are, because I don't know them, so I can't say anything about them. The only problem I ever had, and I stick on my ground with this commentary, is of the child running around in the church. It's the only problem I had. I felt like somebody should have had a talk with the Wells about their child's behavior. That's it. Because that's the house of the Lord. And nobody should be running around the church. It doesn't matter if it was Summer. We didn't even know who Summer was. So it doesn't even matter who Summer is or was at that time. Because you didn't even know Summer was doing that in church until somebody dug up those videos and put them on blast on YouTube. But the point is, I don't know the church. I don't know the people in the church. And I don't have anything to say about what they do and don't do. Their involvement in the disappearance of Summer Wells. I wouldn't even stoop to that level of saying they're this, they're that, they're evil, they're worshiping this. I don't got time for that. I stick to the facts and a receipt. You can't bring a receipt. I'm not interested in what you have to say. That's just who I am. Because it becomes redundant gossip. In this case, it's no different in Cal City. You can gossip yourself into foolishness to where you don't even make sense when you speak. You're speaking foolishness. These are children missing. If you're going to speak on something that makes sense. Not aliens and all this old crazy stuff. Come on, grow up. These are missing people. And you'd want someone, if it was your child, your family, you want people to be serious about trying to find your kid if you cared. So that leads us to these people, the whales. They've shown us they are oblivious to the human spirit, having a heart, being truthful, being respectful. They don't care about their children. They don't care about themselves. They never have. And they've shown that. And that's not made up. That's not gossip. That's from you losing all your children. Total. Current day. Getting on YouTube, cursing people out, calling people nasty names, running in and out of the judicial system at 40, 50 years of age. You should be tired of that life. That's a bum's life. That's a person with no direction, a person that don't care about living, to go in and out of jail. You ought to be ashamed of yourself going to jail at 56 years of age. For what reason? You have no reason to be going to jail at 56. You have no reason. You've lost all of your children, and yet you've learned nothing. From your child missing, possibly you're the reason she's gone. Your 3 beautiful boys are gone, and you can only focus on YouTube. See, that lets me know you never cared about your children. So that's why I asked about the church. Where is the church? So I'm going to say this to you, Pastor Ryder. Are you still in contact with the whales? Do you call them to check on them? Do you ask them, do they need anything? Are they currently attending church at this moment? When was the last time they attended church? How do you all feel about the shenanigans that have been going on? Do you believe they are complicit to the disappearance of Summer Wells? Have you spoke to them privately about what they've been doing on social media and how possibly it is a reflection of the church? Because it is. And I would tell you so. Hey, Don and Candy, let me holler at you. I need to talk to you for a second. What you're doing with them YouTubers, you need to stop it. Because you've been coming in this house of the Lord, perpetrating. Your child is missing. You've lost focus. And I don't appreciate your behavior, and it won't be tolerated if you think you're going to come up in here. How about that? It will not be tolerated up in this church. We may be flawed. We're going to make mistakes. But what you're doing with them YouTubers, I can't allow that up in here. Because you are a reflection of us. And we can't have that scrutiny in the church because it's unnecessary what you're doing. See, somebody needed to talk to this fool. Now, I don't know if the church, anybody from the church said something to the Wells, but I would have went to him directly and told him, I've been hearing some things, and I don't like what I'm hearing. And you are a reflection of this church, We are willing to help you and your children, but what I will not allow is for you to bring my church downhill from your foolishness. You are welcome here any time of the day or night. The doors are always open, but you will not come up in my house, the Lord's house, with that foolishness. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, Donna Wells, Candy Wells? And then you wait for a reply. And if the reply is not conducive to your message, then you keep it walking, Pastor, and work with your other congregants that want to meet Jesus and try to live right. Amen. You see, this is the reason Don and Candy have been the people that they've been. They're like a lot of people. They've been afforded the opportunity to be bums, to be misfits, because people keep coddling them and giving them a pass and patting them on the head like they're 2-year-olds. It's okay. It's okay. We understand. We get it. Now you go on, try to do right tomorrow. And tomorrow turns into 5 days, and 5 days turns into 10 years. 10 years turns into 30 years. You see where I'm going? Now you've got a 50-year-old fool and a 38-year-old fool, 39-year-old fool, because they refuse to act right. Because you people been out here patting them on their damn heads like they're toddlers. And they ain't gonna never learn. Because they don't care. How you going to redeem yourself if you don't care? And from the good words of Dr. Phil, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. Ting. They go to church on Saturday. Well, Queen brought you to Baptist church on Saturday. Come on with it. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. So I ain't getting ready to change nothing because I ain't acknowledging I got a problem. I like getting high. I like getting drunk. I like being a liar, manipulator. I like being a child abuser. I like neglecting my kids. I like living in filth. I like doing half-baked shit to get by in life because that's who I am. Take it or leave it. As they say in the street, you either in or out. Ain't no halfway in. And that's the Wells mentality. Their mantra. You either ride with us or get the F off. Well, Nietzsche. The self-serving human beings. The selfish. That's why they don't have their kids. And one's missing and possibly dead. Because they have been self-serving their whole life. They've had to live off the land to survive because they weren't taught anything. They didn't have proper upbringing. So they went out into the world and they became savages. A savage met another savage. And then they procreated. And now the creations are no longer in their custody. God forbid, Candy Wells can still procreate. Shut your mouth. Have mercy if she was to ever get pregnant again. Every state need to make it law. You lose your children first time by your device. You get an automatic snip and tuck between your legs. That's it. You are done. And you can't own a dog or a cat either. Come on with it, Queen. Because you do know about abuse goes hand in hand with animals as well. Those who abuse children abuse animals. That's a proven fact. That's not a myth. No children, no animals, not even a bird. Where's the church? I want to thank you all for the content, helping the content, bring the content, listening to the content, sharing the content. I thank you. I thank you for helping me get to 10,000 subscribers. It's a blessing. And I bring you the message because it's what I do. As I said, I had no idea how long I would do the YouTube thing, but I'm still here by the grace of God. And I speak from experience as a 50-year-old Black woman who's been through a lot of things in life. And I'm going to tell you from experience, Donald and Candy Wells are tainted. And there is nothing, listen to me good, there is nothing man or woman can do with those two. That is God's work only. You need not do nothing for Donald and Candy Wells. Because if you keep it up, you will be in the lake of fire with them. Leave them people alone. Do yourself a favor and walk on by. We are now going to talk about accountability. Some of you have argued in the chat of the church's role in what went on in church with Summer Wells. So we're going to go there. Was it the church's responsibility to say something to the Wells about anything they noticed peculiar with Summer's demeanor, hair, speech, dress, and also the brothers, because we can't leave them out because they're all together? Was it Robin's job to say something to the mother about anything she noticed peculiar with the child, since she was her Sabbath day teacher? So I'm going to add this. Robin, what did you notice strange about Summer Wells and or her brothers? This goes for you, and this goes for anybody in the church. What did you notice peculiar about the children, the Wells children? How they talk, how they act? What's their hair combed? Did you see headlights, dandruff, clean clothes, a smell, a body odor? If you notice any of the things that I just named, do you think it was your responsibility to say something to their parents? Because the parents did attend church. Now, as I said, and most of you noticed that are grown, that a lot of people don't like to meddle in people's affairs. This is why we have the crimes we have, because nobody likes to come forward to say what they saw, what they're seeing, what they're hearing, even in their own family. Now, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't getting into that. But then you can't wait to go run to the news to tell the news that you saw somebody coming outside begging for food, needing a cell phone charger. You didn't notice the child smelled? Come on, bring them that knowledge, Queen. You didn't notice the child smelled like death? The child was in a house for 11 months with a dead body, his brother out there in Houston, Texas. So when the child came to you needing to charge his phone, come on, Queen, because they ain't ready for you today. You didn't smell death? You didn't smell death on the 15-year-old? You didn't smell death. Say it again, Queen. You didn't smell death when he was hungry and told you he wanted the food wrapped only. This is a for instance for you all wondering where I'm going. Do you understand? You played a part of this nonsense. Then you want to run to the news and tell us what the hell was going on with the 15-year-old kid. Well, it's too late. Because that baby was dead in there for a whole year. Now you want to come tell us about, oh, he needed a phone charger and oh, he was hungry all the time. You're too late. So I'm going to ask the people in the chat. I'm going to ask the church. Why are you responsible to say something to Donald and Candy about the appearance of the children? Their behavior. Did you ever talk to them directly? Because if you did not, you are a part of the problem and not the solution. It is hard to tell people about themselves, and I get that. I said that to somebody recently about someone that I had met, and I'm going to say it in this live, and I hope they hear it because you know the Queen don't give a damn. You are a grown woman. You have no reason to smell like a cow. Come on with it, Queen. And it is not the Queen's place to tell a grown woman she stinks. How the hell is that my problem? It's not a baby we're talking about. It's not, I took your child for the day and your daughter smelled. Hell yeah, I might tell you, hey, your little girl needs a bath. Hell, I don't play around about them kids. But you big and grown, hell no, I ain't got to tell you to take a bath. Why should I have to tell a grown person they stink? You see, I know you well enough to invest in telling you. I'm going to say that. Now, somebody might disagree, but I'm not, because I'm not getting ready to go into all of the scenario on the live, but just believe me when I say, I saw all I needed to see to say, hell no, you ain't for me. And I think it was so weird that when I noticed this with this person, I had just come off a live where we were discussing what you should and should not say about people's hygiene, and we were talking about Summer Wells. And I told myself, God put you in that situation to see what you would do, because you just come off a live talking about Summer Wells and her demeanor and how she lived in that house. And God put me right in that situation to see, now Angie, I want to see what you're going to do. Are you going to be about what you preach to your chat about and what you preach on your channel? Are you going to ride the ride with somebody that's filthy and ain't doing their job? Or you going to still be in their face and pretending that you're friendly with them, knowing you do not agree with their hygiene practices? I removed myself. Because I don't rock like that. I removed myself. Because as I said, I am too old to be telling somebody grown how to live. And I don't think I should have to tell another adult that they are smelly. Especially in just meeting you. I don't think that's my place to tell you that. I think you should know that you smell. And if I've pointed out something to you that was derogatory, which I cannot say on the live, but they know what I'm talking about, then they should have known better. So it's not like they don't know. What is or was the church's responsibility for Summer Wells and her brothers? Did anyone from the church, including the pastor and Miss Robin, ever speak to the Wells about the behavior of their child, girl child, Summer, her appearances, and anything else pertaining to the boys' appearances, speech, hygiene, hair, teeth, all of that, clothes, all of that? Did anyone ever say anything? Did anyone ever offer any help to the Wells pertaining to their children? Did they ever offer them any help financially? Did the Wells ever ask for any help financially? Did the Wells ever ask for food? Did the Wells ever ask for clothes for the children? What was the motive for the Wells going to church one whole year and never joining the church? What was the motivation? Now, you are entitled to go to church wherever you want. You're entitled to join if you want. There's no stipulations of when to join, not to join. But we know most people, after about a year of going to a church, most people would have joined by that time. So that's a long time to attend church and not become a member. Yes, all of that, Sammy. That's what I'm saying. All the hygiene pertaining to the children had to be noticed at some point. Because if we noticed it as outsiders through pictures, you all saw the children up close. And you obviously saw things we did not see. Sandra Kay, come on now. Stay on subject. Thank you, 376. God is good. I thank you all for listening. I really thank you. I try to be a voice of reason. I make mistakes. I am flawed. And I don't claim to be no more than what I am. And that's just a human. But I do not play around about them kids. That's off. I do not play around about the kids. And when I speak about something, I mean what I'm saying to you. And that's why I try not to talk about things that I'm not going to do in my own life when I speak about it on the channel. And I'm going to say this in my live. I made a mention of something a while ago, probably about a month ago, about some children who I thought were in a desperate situation. Something I noticed I didn't like, and I made a phone call. And obviously it worked. I wasn't going to be one of those people that sit up and talk about child abuse and neglect on their channel and then tell you to call when you see something, and then I see something and I don't make the call. So I did it, and I felt damn good about it too. And I did notice a change. I saw the kids come around the said person one time after I made the call, and I have not seen the children anymore. Because obviously somebody got in their ear and told them, this and this and this has been said, and the kids are no longer around this said person, to my knowledge. Amen. If you ain't going to be about it, don't speak about it. Because we cannot continue to see these children fall by the wayside because of their caretakers and their guardians. You can always remain anonymous if you hear or see something derogatory pertaining to a child. If you believe they're not being fed, Their hair's not being combed. They're nasty. They're dirty. They're out here in the street all damn day and night without any supervision. It's all the same. Make one call and sleep good at night. You can sleep good at night because you know you did the right thing. Go to bed at night knowing you did the right thing. You don't have to give your name. Make up a name. Make up a name. That's all you have to do. Do the right thing. Because you don't want to be that person that watched children being abused and neglected and then have the audacity to sit up and go to the news when the child is found beat to death or abused and removed from the custody of the caretaker. And then you sit up and tell the news what you saw go on. So naturally, you don't think they're going to wonder if you ever called, made a phone call. Did you call DHS? Did you call the police? Did you say something to the parents? And I understand it's not our job to say anything to the parents. We don't know them. It's not like a family member. Yeah, they have the right to say something because they know them. But you just can't walk up to people and say, hey, why your child head ain't combed? Hey, why I always see your child out here playing in the same clothes every day? Hey, why your kid out here begging for food? And I don't have no problem if I even see your child being disruptive outside. Because I've done it before. And I went to the mama directly. Let her know about her kid. Hey, your kid out here all day long. And I said it in a very nice way, so she got the point of knowing. Oh, yeah. This lady watching my child. Yeah, I'm watching your child because I hear your child. Your child's all over the place. Running up and down the stairs, making noise, being disruptive. So I'm going to go to you directly. I saw you. I took a chance to let you know in a very diplomatic fashion. Hey, honey. This your baby? Well, he be all over the place, up and down the stairs. He might hurt himself. You do understand what I'm saying to you, ma'am. The concrete steps. We wouldn't want anything to happen to you, son. Now, would we? Very dangerous. Oh, Queen laid it on to where she got the point. And then shortly after that, it probably wasn't even but a few months later, she moved. And the word on the street was she moved because obviously people were complaining about her child. But see, that's the thing they do. They move from place to place because they don't want to own responsibility in rearing their children. So 9 times out of 10, the place she moved with the child, the behavior would go on. But my thing is, I did with my part. I don't have anything else I could do. Except for call the CPS people. But I went to the mother directly. Where is the church? Where is the church? Is the church involved with the Wells? Is the church, the pastor, still supporting Donald and Candy Wells? When was the last time Donald and Candy Wells attended church? What would be sad to know is that they have not been to church since the jump off of summer being gone. And as I said, I don't know if the pastor has spoken with them about their behavior as of late, but I think he owed them a visit directly. He owed them that because they have made a mockery out of themselves. They have made a mockery out of Summer Wells. They have made a mockery out of their 3 boy children. They have made a mockery out of the church. They have made a mockery out of the community at the expense of Summer Wells. So the pastor owed them a talking to. This is not acceptable behavior of a human being, not just you coming to our church. You're too old to behave this way, and your child is missing. What's the problem? You see, a lot of people are afraid to confront people. That is the reason why, as I've said, foolishness continues. Behavior is coddled because people are afraid to tell people how they really feel about them. But I can tell you, some of these black preachers would have probably been glad to talk to Donald Wells and say, bruh, you need to tighten your because this is ridiculous what you're doing out here in these streets. Or as y'all would love to call it, YouTube streets. The hell are you doing? You coming all in church acting sanctified and talking about God on their lives and to the news, and you up here doing all this foolishness with these YouTubers and talking crazy on platforms and stuff, Facebook pages and posts. What's wrong with you? Your child is missing. You need to be focused on your child. You should be focused on your 3 boys. Get it together. Because if you continue on the path you're on, you need not come back to this church. And I think a pastor has every right to say that. Because like I said, we're flawed, yes. But when you're just doing outlandish behavior that's visible to the public and the community, and then you're using the church as a crutch, I think the pastor has every right to tell you, if you continue on the path you're on, don't come back. Don't come back in here. Because you're bringing that foolishness here. And that's probably the reason why those church people didn't want to talk to those YouTubers. They locked the door. Hell yeah, they locked the door. Now, some people could have thought, well, that's kind of rude. No, it ain't rude because we don't know what's been going on with that church down there. We don't know how many people have been running up in that church acting like they're reporters and wanting to talk to them. They don't know you. You running up there talking about Summer Wells and Don Wells and Candy Wells. They don't know if you got a gun, a knife. They don't know nothing. They don't know if they're going to get pepper sprayed. They don't know. You want them to just believe you at face value. Hey, I come here to talk to you about Summer Wells and her mama and daddy. First thing they're going to say is, well, who am I to tell you anything? Hell, maybe I don't know them. So I can't give you no information. I can direct you to the pastor. Would you like to speak to the pastor? Hold, please. Stay right there. I'll be right back. Probably not a good idea. Random people running into church, asking church people, staff, whomever, can you tell me something about Donald Wells, Candy Wells? They know better. Small town, church people, good Christian folk know not to say nothing. As to not get themselves implicated in no drama. So that's understandable. Very understandable. Because we have people who will put your ass on blast, put your name out there, and tell all what you said, and swear for God, I ain't gonna tell nobody who it is. I ain't gonna let nobody know your name. And then put your name out there that you said it. And now your name is wrapped up in some drama. And the thing about telling anything, you got to be the one to walk around these people. Them YouTubers don't live there. So they ain't got to walk around the town. They ain't got to worry about being confronted by Donald Candy Wells at the damn Walmart or the Waggles or the Pilot. You understand what I'm saying? They on the plane back home, somewhere cushy. You got to live there. They don't. And all it takes is the wrong person to run up. I heard what you said to that YouTuber. You know you was wrong for that, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, they got an altercation with a complete stranger about another stranger all over something a damn YouTuber then went and put on blast. See, you all don't really think about what you're doing out here. Because it's easy to meddle and poke hiding behind a phone and a computer. You don't live there. You ain't around the people. But when the jump off comes, you thousands of miles away. leaving them people there to fend for themselves with a bunch of rednecks. Think about what you're doing. Because there's always going to be somebody that's not in agreement to the content, not in agreement to you speaking on something. There's people that get mad just because you're talking about the subject. You don't even have to have spoken to anyone in the story. And I'll give you a for instance. It's about 2 years ago, coming up 2 years, January. A black woman walked into a cigar lounge outside of Chicago, Illinois, for allegedly entertainment. But perhaps the devil was on her shoulder that evening. She was laughing, drinking, smoking cigars at a cigar lounge. And there were some people gathered in the front of the building talking. And she kindly walked up to the table, shot the people at the table. The rumor is she had been having some type of relationship with one of the men at the table who was a state trooper, a retired state trooper. The gist of the story is the Queen covered that case on her channel. And somebody decided to go in the comment section to tell me, why are you talking about this? I know him. He was a great guy, blah, blah, blah. He didn't do nothing to her, blah, blah, blah. Like I told the commenter, I don't know you. I don't know the deceased. And I don't know her because she ended up killing herself after shooting the people at the table. But you don't tell me what I can and cannot speak about on my own channel. It's a news story. And I'm speaking of a news story. I question, why did she shoot him? Because that's an obvious question. Why did she shoot him and those people at that table? You think the rest of America wasn't wondering why she shot the people at the table? It's national news. But you're angry because that's your friend or your acquaintance, and you're angry that he's dead. And I get that. But you don't question me for talking about it because it's national news. And anybody with some sense would wonder, why did this woman shoot these people and that man? What was going on? Did she shoot everybody at the table? That's the point I'm trying to make with this story. There's always going to be somebody disgusted with you talking about a subject matter. Even if you don't even give your opinion. You're just asking the question. You're just relaying the news. It's already public news. But this guy was perturbed. Why are you talking about this? You shouldn't be speaking about this. Well, I did. What you going to do about it? Nothing. But you see, you got a lot of crazy people out here. And it would take a certain type to go hunt you down and find you and say it to you directly with a gun to your head. Hey, I heard what you said on YouTube. Hey, I don't like that commentary you gave on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're talking. Blow your damn brains out. You have sick people out here. You have very sick people out here. But that's the point. This is a public platform. And YouTube has allotted us the opportunity to speak on various subject matters, whether it's showing you how to make pasta, a roast, or how to sew a quilt. But there's always going to be somebody that's going to have a problem with what you're talking about. And you don't even have to be opinionated. It's just somebody didn't want you talking about the subject matter. Thank you, Tiny. Dodging bullets funny. If you don't help with the gathering of the corn, don't come for your share. Amen. I'm not going to hold you all long, but this was on my mind the past couple of days. Where is the church? What is their involvement with the Wells as of today? Are they talking to them? Are the Wells still attending church? Because, with all the things that's been going on with the Wells, that's the one thing you haven't heard out of Don's mouth. Them good people. See, he threw that out there in the beginning of this story, slathering it up, trying to make it seem like he has so much support from them good people, whoever those people are. Well, where are those people now that Don was speaking of? Were you speaking of the church people, Don, or just the community in general? Trump won. Stop. Stop. I have friends and family that are Masons, and my great-grandmother was an Eastern Star, so give it a rest. Give it a rest. See, this is what I'm saying about judging people, grouping everybody the same. I do not believe in Illuminati. I do not believe in people chanting in robes at night. I do not believe in people laying in coffins. I've already talked to some people that are Masons because, as I said, it's in my DNA. The olive branch has been extended to the Queen to become an Eastern Star. Yeah, I'm going to put it out there since y'all love talking about people so much. Stop assuming rhetoric you hear from the streets, gossip. That is the point of this video. Is everybody is not the same. And I'm not going to judge everybody the same because I don't know everybody. And everybody that's of different race, a church member, it's not the same. I may not like the Holiness Church, but that doesn't mean that everybody in the Holiness Church is bad. That's just where they choose to go to church. They choose to believe in a certain faith or way of doing things. What they may believe about the Bible, I may not believe. What they taught about the Bible, I may not be taught. But I'm not getting ready to hate the people in the church. I don't know them. And I ain't getting ready to waste my life like that and spend that kind of energy, bashing these people. Oh, they crazy. They like the whole snakes. And, okay, if I don't agree with it, cool. But I ain't about to dwell on it every day and beat it down. It's a waste of time. See, that's what some of you don't get. You waste your time beating a dead horse. You're going to wake up every day mad at the Jehovah's Witness because of what they were taught and what the Bible told them. And, man, it's a waste of your time. Okay. I knew this was going to happen. I've had that enough. I've really had about enough of you. Some of you are very ill. Hold on 1 second. Checking something. I'm trying to do something. Thank you, Nay. That's what I was looking for. I had enough of that silliness. like I said, you're entitled to believe what you want pertaining to the story that's been laid out pertaining to Summer Wells. You're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe from law enforcement, the people who said they seen this, heard this. You're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe. But in the end, only a select few knows what happened to Summer Wells. And those are the people who got her gone, or a person, whichsoever. And I'm just going to speak frankly before I check out of here. With all that's been said about Summer Wells, what's all been seen, the church videos, the behavior of the parents, commentary from the outside people that were allegedly her friends, the mother's friends, now church member, wanting to be seen and heard. I'm the type of person, I don't trust anybody pertaining to this case. That's just who I am. That's my opinion. As we say in the street, a day late, dollar short. You'd have to be very leery of anybody coming forward now with any information pertaining to Summer Wells or anything that allegedly took place on June 15th. And that's just the bottom line. You take it how you want. But I don't have to believe anything, because I'm going to say this. And I was not going to say this in this live because I wanted to always try to stick to the subject that I'm speaking of in the title. So I'm going to leave you with this. For those of you that want to believe anything that somebody has to say pertaining to June 15th. Now listen very carefully, because you might miss the message. Are you listening? Sheriff Lawson has told the public that he is not sure about the Tacoma truck, the scream heard by an alleged neighbor, and that foul play is now on the table. Read between the lines of those 3 statements. I'm not sure about the Tacoma truck. We have no verification of a scream. We now believe foul play can be introduced to the disappearance of Summer Wells. Do you get the point of that commentary by Sheriff Lawson and by Everyday Shenanigans? Yes, Stormy. I'm going to say it one more time and see if somebody catches it. I'm not sure about the Tacoma truck. We have no verifications of a scream and don't think it has anything to do with the investigation of the disappearance of Summer Wells. Foul play is now suspected as well as any other theory. You see, perhaps Hawkins County is telling you there could never have been a scream if there was no abduction. There could have never been a Tacoma truck because there was no abduction. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Good day.